Badges don't grant extra rights. This is Copblock Radio on the FPRN Radio Network. Here are your hosts, Eric, Adam, and Scott.
And welcome everybody to the Copblock Radio Show live on FPRN Radio and syndicated across the interwebs or downloadable in a podcast version a few minutes after about an hour after the show. I'm your host, Eric, and with me, as always, is Adam and Scott. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you, Scott? Or Scott and Eric?
I'm good, man. How are you?
You should give out the call-in information, Scott.
You smartass. So my notes are always in my iPad that I have sitting here, and my iPad's dead, and it's the new one, so I can't just charge with my regular charger. But in case anybody forgot, it's 567-314-9296. The passcode is 1234, and then the pound sign will get you in the queue. And if you want to Skype in, it's just add FPRN Radio Live. Add our guys will add you back, and then we'll get you on live. The preferred method is always Skype. Skype has a lot better quality. We prefer that way. And of course, our friends over at the NSA are probably listening. So call in, please. That's why we do the show live.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a backpack pressure cooker, we might be able to hook you up with that.
You know where to call.
Yeah, call us though. So
if you find any good prices on any of those things,
forward it. We want to know.
So a few things to get out of the way. There are some events coming up that people might want to know about. There is the second annual Peaceful Street Project Summit, and I believe that's in Austin, Texas, and I'm looking for the date on
August 17th.
August 17th. There you go. Or is that? I think that's fundraising is through there. So yeah, now I'm totally missing the date. Of course, I should have had this up.
I'm working on pulling it up right now too.
Yeah, you can go over to peacefulstreets.com and you can check it out. But it's the second annual. They're doing some fundraising right now, at least through the 17th. So you can go over there and check it out. And then Pete, Air, and Jacob Crawford are teaming up to do a police accountability tour, and they're going to be heading across the United States and actually heading over to South Africa for a little while. So you can check that over at CopBlockradioshow.org, and you should be able to see their tour information on the page somewhere. Check out if they're going to be near you.
Yeah, okay, so I got the info on the Peaceful Streets thing here.
What day is it?
All right, it's August 17th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the AT&T Exclusive Education and Conference Center, which is 1900 University Avenue, Austin, Texas.
Cool. And then, if you just go to copblock.org, there's a little button that says tour right at the top, and you can see where Pete and Jacob will be stopping, and you should go out and talk to them. And if there's anything going on in your area, maybe this will help, or not going on, this might help mobilize some people. So check that out.
And always, as of course, with both these events going on, both of them are asking for donations and help out and support with the whole entire thing. So if you guys have extra cash or money that you can help fund these events, they would be greatly appreciated.
So with I don't know if last night you guys went to your local cop shop where they were having the National Night Out Propaganda Fest in your local area.
Unfortunately, I did. We talked about this a little bit earlier, and I will let you know that even though I couldn't make it out, I still wore my Copblock, Who Owns You shirt, and it's always fun to wear a shirt that sends a strong message, and get the looks from people, and then start the conversations. People always love that.
Yeah, and since I'm in Keene, New Hampshire, there's a lot of people from Free Keene and whatnot. They're out there, though I'm still unknown to the authorities, so I kind of mingled and blended in and got a lot of photographs, and we've been pretty much making a personnel page for the local PD because they don't have one, so we're making it for them on on the Keene CopBlock.org website. It's pretty fun. So I've been pig hunting, so to speak, with my camera.
It is. That's awesome. You guys are doing that. That's some serious, useful information. If anybody has a run-in with a police officer and doesn't get to get their name or badge number from them and just remembers them by face, they can check out your guys' site that you've cataloged all these and look up the picture and try to find the officer to know which officer they're having trouble with.
Yeah, it's probably a little more. It's probably easier to do in a smaller town like this. It's probably more difficult if you're in, say, like Seattle, where there's hundreds of police officers. That it might be a little hard to catalog them all, but we only have like 40 or so street level guys, so we have more than half of them with their picture and their phone number and all that jazz up on the site. But we have all of their phone numbers and badge numbers, regardless if we have a picture or not.
So how did it go? You just got a bunch of pictures? You have any good conversations? Get them to act like idiots at all?
No, there were a lot of, I was kind of disappointed because there were a lot of correctional officers from the local jail from, I'm not even sure what they call it, Cheshire County House of Corrections or something, aka the Keene Spiritual Retreat.
Awesome.
As the activists locally like to call it. Apparently it's if you had to get sent to a jail, that's probably the place to go. That's where Rich Paul is right now. They say it's a brand new facility, so they say it's actually kind of nice. So that you could do worse. You could end up in Valley Street in Hillsborough County, which is where Adamo was for his wiretapping, and that's not a pleasant place to be. Or at least I think that's Hillsborough County. I'm not sure. But yeah, so unfortunately there were a lot of COs, so once I got home and I started looking through all the pictures, I didn't realize that's what their badge was or the patch on their arm was until I started looking at it. I'm like, oh, I got all COs. That's not going to help me out. But I did get like 4 new police officers, 1 statey, and 1 sheriff's office person. So that was great.
Any super troopers? Was Farva there or no?
No.
Those guys can't even grow. They can't even grow respectable facial hair. Losers.
It was nice with my new camera. I actually was taking shots from like 50 feet away, and then when I got home, I could still zoom in and catch their name tag, so I didn't even have to go out for a couple of the IDs from other people, be like, hey, who's this? I could actually read it off their tag, so that was nice. So,
while we're sitting here and we're talking about this, I went on to my local police department, my Road Pirates website, and they had this thing on the right-hand side, and it was do the right thing. So I'm looking at this little picture, and there's like, a police officer, and then there's a person, appears to be an adult in front of that person, or in front of the cop, and then there seems to be a child in front of them, and it's kind of like sequence. So if you go to dotherightThingInc.org, their logo looks like a cop, pounding this male from behind while he's pounding a child. So it's more like NAMBLA. It's not necessarily the police that they should rethink their logo. It's really bad. I'm trying to go to dotherightThingInc.org.
I'm pulling it up right now.
It's straight NAMBLA stuff, man.
It's so funny because like the night out thing is supposed to be crime prevention and drug blah blah blah, and there's somebody, their tagline was "You own your body." I'm like thinking to myself, what? You guys are promoting like all this drug war crap, and you own your body, my ass. You'll get thrown in jail if you decide to do something that isn't state approved with it.
Yeah, you should have asked them if they could elaborate on that. Like, what do you mean? I don't understand. What does, this is my interpretation of that. Bait them right in because, they have that IQ level that they can't go above. They're easily tricked. They're like horses. Except for they carry guns.
I still
Luckily-
have those. I was having a
luckily, I
conversation
still
with
have a
somebody the
lot
other
of,
day about that.
Sorry,
Sorry,
go ahead.
Eric.
Oh. You go.
All right. So I was having a conversation the other day with somebody that had brought up the fact of asked if they did IQ tests on police officers, and I mentioned the fact that they do in some places, and if you have too high of an IQ, you can't become a police officer. And they were just dumbfounded by this fact. And I was like, well, duh, you can't have too smart of cops walking around, then nobody would get in trouble because these cops would know they're doing the wrong thing. And they were just dumbfounded by the fact that if you're too smart, you can't be a police officer.
Yeah, I think did we talk about that at all? Because it was, the issue was somebody had actually tried to sue the police department, and the judge said that it was not discrimination because it was,
Across the board.
it was across the board. Thank you. It was
But
across
no-
the board discrimination. That makes it okay.
Yeah, I kind of dressed incognito, if you will. I just had a button-up shirt and whatnot, and I didn't bait anybody into conversation because luckily I have a lot of activists around here, so they were out there, so they could do their thing. And since I'm still unknown, I can still mingle without being inhibited, so I can fill up the rest of our info site, and then we can go from there.
Then you're gonna take it. Then you're gonna take it to the next level, or what?
I don't know. We'll find out after that.
Oh man.
Basically, Eric hasn't been labeled as a
Terrorist.
low-level terrorist yet.
Yeah,
Not quite
exactly.
yet.
Yeah, did you guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think that's what we're both alluding to.
So for those who don't know, here in New Hampshire, we have one police department, which is in Keene. Well, we have a couple, but the Keene one was the biggest because there's only like 24,000 people in this city, and they went for the DHS grant to get themselves a Bearcat. And for those who don't know what a Bearcat is, it's pretty much an armored tank on a truck chassis. So it's a tank / truck. And now Concord just put in an application to get the grant, and they listed as reasons for getting the tank in general was domestic terrorist threats, and they listed specifically sovereign citizens, Occupy, and Free Staters as reasons why they needed this tank, which doesn't really make any sense because as far as the Free Staters, it's supposed to be a peaceful movement, and nobody has ever, to my knowledge, associated with the Free State Project committed any acts of violence. And it says right on their website, if you are inclined to that, then they want nothing to do with you. So,
Yeah, we need tanks for peaceful people because they're such a threat.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
yeah, and it's ridiculous because Keene has this stupid thing, and I took a few pictures of it because of course they dragged it out to the propaganda show. Of course they have to do something with it because they don't use it for anything else. They've used it for training and show and tell. That's basically what they actually just submitted a report to the city council a few weeks ago, and that was the report. They pretty much brought it out for training and show and tell. And they pitched this thing as like a rescue vehicle, like if flooding happened and whatnot. And we had tons of flooding 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they didn't bring it out for flooding. So the reason that they said that they bought it, they didn't use it for.
So they basically bought it for a rescue vehicle, and they have yet to use it for a rescue vehicle yet?
That they claimed it was for a rescue vehicle, but we all know they just actually wanted a tank. Actually, one of the city council members got caught on an audio recording saying, "We're going to have our own tank."
Well, don't get me wrong, it'd be cool to have my own tank, but
Yeah, but when you're paying for it with other people's money that you've stolen from them, it doesn't go over very well. So it was amazing. It's just one of the things where government isn't going to do what the people want because the people overwhelmingly did not want the city of Keene to buy this stupid thing because it's a waste of freaking money. But they did it anyways, which is just sad.
Well, just be happy you guys only have one because we have like 3 here.
That's ridiculous. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, you need, what was that guy's name? He drove over the police cruisers with his tractor. He was up there in New Hampshire somewhere.
Vermont.
Yes. It was Pion. His last name was Pion. And he drove over all the cop cars with his tractor. Like, what do you need to do? What kind of equipment do you need to drive over a Bearcat and make it just kaput? Someone needs to buy that.
Very, very big truck.
But I remember that story. That was about the coolest story I'd ever seen.
That's, I don't know if it might have been Judge Napolitano that was talking about how the first American to shoot down a drone over American soil would be an American hero or something like that. Like, Roger Pion, rock star. You're awesome.
The photograph was priceless afterwards. I wish there was video of it, but the photograph was still worth it.
Did you see there was a video clip that they interviewed, I don't know if it was some knuckleheaded cop or the chief of police or whatever there, and they were talking about how, like, that was, like, all their cars that were available right there, and he, like, took them all out. They effectively, like, they had nothing to go chase him with, or he's driving away making, like, an O.J. Simpson-style getaway in a tractor. Ain't nobody got time for that!
Yeah, it destroyed their, like, entire fleet of 7 cars or whatever. It was a very small town.
I remember reading about that. They were like, well, we couldn't chase him because all of our cars were flattened.
That's a shame. Road pirates. Whoever coined the term road pirates, man, that is so good.
I don't know if it was Pete or I'm sure it was one of those guys because I've heard Pete use it before. But yeah, whoever that is great. The road pirates.
Yes.
Arr. So, you guys have anything else you want to go into, or?
We have a lot of guests coming on. Do we want to? What do you want to get into? I mean, do we want to save the dick of the week for the end? Let's do that at the end.
All right. So
we got a good one.
I put a clip into our audio for the week, or actually last week, and we never got to play it. And this is a story about a cop who spoke up, and of course, they don't like that very much. So, if the producers can play, I don't know what clip it is. Clip 2.
When I first heard about the quotas, I was appalled. You know, I got into law enforcement because I wanted to serve and protect, not be a bully.
You're way beyond encouraging productivity at this point. Now you're encouraging police officers to act unlawfully.
Auburn, Alabama is home to sprawling plains, the Auburn University Tigers, and a questionable police force. After the arrival of a new police chief in 2010, the department entered an era of ticket quotas, a common thread tying Auburn PD to other departments in Alabama and even nationwide. Air Force veteran and Auburn native Justin Hanners was a police officer on the force who felt compelled to speak out.
The role of police in society, I believe, are to interfere with the lives of the people as little as possible, but protect them from, you know, the 1% element that wants to victimize them. You know, let them be free to live their lives, but protect the people and the property. And that's what they pay us to do. When I first started in 2006, everything was great. Morale was high. The officers, we had cookouts together. We worked hard, and, you know, we pushed each other to be our best, and, had great relationship with the public. But in 2010, things just immediately took a turn.
Auburn PD's new police chief, Chief Dawson, had new priorities and new marching orders that the chain of command obeyed without objection. Justin recorded conversations between his sergeant, Sergeant Neal, and the other officers to keep tabs on any foul play.
He came in and, they immediately started pushing for tickets.
Officers will have 100 contacts per month minimum. 40 of those may be warnings for traffic. The other 60 will be divided between traffic citations, non-traffic citations, field interviews, and custodial arrests. Do not be the one that does not get 100.
That's 72,000 contacts a year in like a 50,000 person town. One thing Sergeant Neal did was the rod and the carrot method. You know, if you didn't get the number of tickets he wanted, if you didn't get the 100 contacts, you would get mandatory overtime, you get written up. But if you did do well, the officer who wrote the most tickets and the one that came in second were given gift cards for like steak dinners and things like that.
Quotas pervert police priorities.
Bradley Balco is an investigative journalist for the Huffington Post and author of the new book, Rise of the Warrior Cop. He says that these quotas are an invitation to corruption and bad policing.
There's going to be a strong incentive for police officers maybe to find offenses where they didn't exist.
Sergeant Neal started instructing me and my partner to arrest people that we didn't feel like had broke the law.
Stay active at Saturday night. Right here, let's make some contact, put my ass in jail, buy some tickets, and all that neat fun stuff that we signed up to do when we signed up for this job.
It was one, I think it was maybe Friday or Saturday night, one of the big bar nights. We saw a guy walking on the sidewalk. He was staggering a little bit, but he was, walking quietly to himself. He was on the sidewalk, wasn't stepping out in the street. We thought, well, it's clear he's been drinking. We'll at least contact him, make sure he's okay. So we get out on him, we contact him. He knows who he is, where he's going. We determined that he's good to go. We let him go. Well, our sergeant saw it and told us to go back and arrest him. He pointed to me and said, you need it for your stats. So I told him it's not about what I need, it's about what he needs, and he doesn't need to go to jail. So he got out of the car and ordered us to arrest him, and I still refused, and my partner, scared for his job, went ahead and arrested the guy and took him to jail for public intoxication.
So you have a policy that encourages police to create petty crimes and to ignore serious crimes, and that's clearly the very opposite of what we want police officers to be doing.
Justin repeatedly expressed his concern about the quotas and the way things are being handled to his entire chain of command. He followed up with a formal grievance process through the Director of Public Safety, but to no avail. The director said that these requirements were necessary for increasing productivity.
You have to question the leadership there if officers need to have that sort of incentive just to perform their jobs.
I think personally that it's revenue driven. At the same time that they're trying to raise property taxes, at the same time they're trying to raise sales taxes, they're pushing us to get more tickets. And they're telling us they don't want these little fix-it tickets. They tell us that they want, quote, meat tickets, something with a fine. They'll look over your traffic log, and if you've got a bunch of low fine or no fine tickets, they're going to tell you to switch and do more speeding, more red lights, more things like that. There's not that many speeders. There's not that many people running red lights to get those numbers. So what officers do is lower their standards.
When you're issuing citations, you're forcibly taking money from people, from citizens, and you're putting points on their driving records. You're inhibiting their freedom in a lot of ways.
These kind of policies, the ticket quotas and the heavy-handed enforcement, will affect the lower income populations the most. When you write somebody $2 or $3 $164 tickets in a month, they've got to make some choices that month. That's groceries. That's maybe food or clothes for kids. That might be car or house payment.
It wasn't long before Justin had to start worrying about his own finances after the department made it clear that if he continued to speak out, it would cost him his job.
During the grievance process, they try to squash it on technicality. They try to talk me out of it. Try to buddy up with me to get it to drop it. Then once all else failed, they started threatening my job and my career, warned me that there'd be consequences for doing this. I had no intention of dropping. At this point, I had no choice. I had to keep going forward, and if I stopped it, nothing would have changed. That just would have been another minor hiccup.
Justin was fired, and while the department declined Reason TV's request for information on the case, Justin says he was ultimately fired for violating a gag order.
Okay.
When they called me and fired me, the first thing that went through my mind was my kids. I'm the primary breadwinner. I don't know how the bills are going to get paid, and I didn't know what I was going to do as far as a new career. All my eggs were in this law enforcement basket. It's what my calling was. It's what I've always wanted to do.
Justin hasn't found a new job. He's currently looking for a lawyer to take up his case and sue the department. Though after reaching out to the Police Benevolent Association for guidance, he found out that his grievances were actually pretty common.
They're like, basically, here we go with this again. It's a problem in more places than Auburn. This is a frequently occurring thing, and it's a battle with a lot of different officers and departments.
While Justin will continue his battle on the legal front, he thinks that the fastest way to get the city back on track is public accountability.
Once the people know they can hold their elected officials accountable, and then it'll change. Officers have tried for years to change it from the inside, and they're either forced out or just leave from frustration. And what you end up with is a police department where the good officers have been run off, and you have a bunch of officers just willing to play the game. They want to be the bullies. They want to show how bad they are with a badge, and that's what you get left with.
So that's a great. That was Reason, I believe. Reason TV did that. And that guy's name was Justin Hanners. He's from Alabama. The jackass who he recorded was Sergeant Trey Neal, who was saying the quota of you need 100 contacts per month minimum, 40 of those being warnings for traffic and 60 being divided between citations and non-traffic citations and field interview and custodial arrests, and not to be the one that gets that does not get 100.
Go out and harass the people or we fire you.
Yeah, it seems to be like the recurring theme with, that's why things are progressing, the way they are and so rapidly, because they really do weed out, the good people. While we were listening to this, I kept having, I'm like, oh, what's this guy's name again? What's that guy's name again? And there was another cop. His name was Justin Hobson, and he was a New Jersey state trooper, and he ended up, on like his first like 10 or so days, he, witnessed something that was an unlawful arrest. What happened was, him and his superior were out. There was a car that was, on the side of the road or wherever it was. There was a woman who was clearly sitting in the back seat, and they knew there was somebody else was driving it. And his supervisor was arresting the woman for drunk driving, even though they both knew that she was in the back seat. And he was like, this isn't right. We shouldn't be doing this. This woman didn't do anything wrong. And, he did the right thing. He didn't drop it, and he continued. He's like, this is not right. We can't do this. We can't do this. And he had the same thing where he was bullied and harassed for decades. And in the end, he ended up writing this book. It's called Breaking the Blue Wall. And, it just, it's basically the same thing, but there's so few and far between to have somebody to actually stand up and put themselves out on the line and cross their buddies. They're the boys club.
Yeah, this is from the Auburn Police Department in Alabama, and this guy, Justin Hanners, he had a lot of good things to say, that he believed that the police should interfere as little as possible. That should be their goal, to interfere as little as possible in people's lives, and they're there to protect people and property. And he told the story that there was a guy who was just walking home drunk, but he wasn't hurting anybody. He was just getting home, and he let the guy go. He just made sure he was okay. And his sergeant got ticked off and told him that he needs to go arrest him, and it's for his stats. And that's why he needs to go arrest him. And the incentives were insane, that they were, giving gift cards for dinners and all this stuff. And he made the point that it lowers the threshold of standards when it comes to writing tickets, and he said it is taxation through citation. And also in that was the author of The Warrior Cop, which is a new book that just came out. I haven't gotten a chance to read it, but I heard it's really good.
It's interesting to see what the police has turned into compared to stories I've heard in this small town outside of Spokane that I used to live in, of the police department actually used to assist with this bus that they would offer at the end of the night, every night, from the bar, and give people rides home. I mean, this is what they used to offer. It was like $2 to ride the bus. It was like a school bus that the city had rented from the school to use to transport intoxicated people from the bar home. And it was obviously a great program, but obviously it doesn't happen anymore. But from what it's turned into, the police actually helping people like that get home safely and not harassing them, to now where we intentionally try to harass people to bust them for it.
Yeah, now it's just a turnover factory. Bring in as much revenue as you can through theft as quickly as you can. Or in this case, you have to write at least 60 citations in a month and have at least 100 contacts with people in a month to extract money from them through this citation, or as this guy says, taxation through citation. So we have to go to break, and then after the break we should have a couple guests on, so stick with us. You're listening to the Copblock Radio Show on FPRN Radio.
Get back to the Constitution.
In 1997, a high school shooting was stopped by a vice principal with a gun. In 1998, a middle school shooting was ended by a neighbor with a gun. In 2002, a terrorist attack was stopped by a school guard and a teacher with a gun. After September 11th, pilots began carrying guns to protect their passengers. Let's give our schools and teachers the same option. Sign the petition at defendschools.com.
Hi, I'm Trevor Moore. Due to the recent revelations that in order to fight terrorism, the NSA has been using a secret court order to spy on every single Verizon and AT&T customer, Americans have become outraged and concerned about their rights to privacy. But along with that concern comes a feeling of hopelessness. I mean, what can we do? Vote in new leaders? Well, the problem is that during an election, each candidate pretends to not be an asshole. Then when they get the job, they reveal that they've actually been a complete asshole this entire time. No, elections are of no use. The only way to fight back against our country's excessive wiretapping and data mining is to make it irrelevant. That's why we're launching Operation Everyone Talk Like a Terrorist all the time. If we all openly discuss terrorist plots in each of our phone conversations, then eavesdropping on those phone conversations becomes pointless. It's simple. We just need to work it into our daily vernacular. For example, instead of saying, "I love you," you could describe a terror attack. The larger the scale, the more you love the person.
Hi, Mom. I just got out of school. Can you pick me up?
I'll be there in 15 minutes. I'm gonna use a truck bomb to blow up the Brooklyn Bridge.
I'm mailing anthrax to Pierce Morgan.
Or nonsense about God's will being great could mean affirmative.
Hey, man, they have a 7:30 show, and do you think you can make it in time? God is merciful and his love is unchanging. Did you already get me a ticket?
And those are just a few examples. You can make up your own. Have fun with it. But it's time for us to stand up and protect our rights. Because those assholes aren't going to.
Nothing is more American than Diamond Gusset jeans. 100% American made since 1987. Soft and broken in from the start, yet more rugged and durable than any jean you've ever worn. Have you ever experienced missized jeans from China? Well, you won't with Diamond Gusset. Every pair is crafted to fit exactly the same and always feel like they were custom made. Need a 35, 37, or 39 waist? How about a 31 inseam? We keep all sizes in stock for the fit you need. Looking for a relaxed fit, slim fit, regular fit, boot cut, or straight leg? We got you covered. Buy the world's best fitting jeans at gusset.com or call 1-888-8GUSSET. Get free Gusset targets for the next time you go to the shooting range with the purchase of their new Ranger jean. Use code COMFORT when ordering to receive free shipping on all Gusset orders at gusset.com. That's gusset.com to get only the best all-American jeans.
Hello, fellow patriots. This is Joseph Nazari, Director of Training Operations with Line of Fire, LLC, Professional Firearms Training Group, located in Las Vegas, Nevada. The fact that you're listening to this show is evidence to me that you are a true patriot and you do value your freedoms. As all patriots know, with freedom comes responsibility, and if you own a firearm, training should be an integral part of your personal defense profile. If you're considering quality firearms training, Line of Fire LLC should be your first choice. We teach all types of firearms training for all types of individuals, from the novice to the most advanced shooters. At Line of Fire LLC, we have a course for you. Please feel free to call us today at 702-242-8288. We look forward to speaking with you soon. Once again, that's Line of Fire LLC, 702-242-8288.
You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy.
Oh God, please help me. He's got a knife.
You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy. Please stay on the line for the next available emergency operator. You have reached the 911 emergency service. All operators are busy. Please stay on.
911 operator, what's your emergency, please? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Last year in the United States, thousands and thousands of 911 calls went unanswered. And if you call from a cell phone, there's no way to pinpoint where you are. Yet politicians like Dianne Feinstein call for more gun control. We have one question. Why do these politicians have armed bodyguards? Can't they just call 911?
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. You can listen live at www.fprnradio.com.
Will you sound out a warning when you see the signs in the sky? But in the land of the blind, it's a crime to exist with an eye. And your dreams are in color, but your life is a pale afternoon.
And welcome back to the Copblock Radio Show, live on FPRN and syndicated across the internet, and downloadable in a podcast version, which you can find at FPRNradio.com. You can go into the archives and you can download the show from there. And also you'll be able to click on the date and it will bring you to the show notes over at copblock.org. So all the stories that we talk about, you can check out for yourself after the show. Or if we zip by something and we throw out a web address and you miss it, and hopefully we remember to make a note of it and we'll throw it in there as well so you can find all those there. So before the break, I guess I went a little too early and I thought we had guests on, but we don't have them on yet. We'll have them on later. Thanks,
one thing that you
Anthony.
were talking about the bus service that was it Spokane used to have.
Oh, it was outside of Spokane.
Okay, so one thing, I think that most of us and most of the listeners out there are kind of free market people, and there's an app for iPhone. I'm not sure about Droid, but it's called Sidecar. And basically what it is people just kind of advertise rides. Like if you need a ride somewhere, you go on this app and you say, hey, this is where I want to go. I want to go from here to there. And then somebody will pick you up and, there's transfer through this website of, money. I guess there's negotiations, but, it's totally seems to me, in my opinion, completely an agorist thing. There might be a fee that's charged through Sidecar to the person, but it's a good option. Not everywhere has taxis, and if you sign up for it, you can be the person who gives people rides, or you can use rides. And I know in bigger cities, in different areas, I'm sure it's more popular, but get it started in your area.
In bigger cities, I know they've been having problems with, I don't know if it's specifically that app, but apps like that, they're getting all pissed off because the taxis, have to pay all these licensing and insurance and all this bullcrap, and cities have been trying to sue these app companies for, I don't know what, practicing taxi service without government permission, it seems. I know they've done it in some, especially in New York, because I think a friggin' taxi permit's like $100,000, and there's only a set amount of them, so you have to buy it when somebody is no longer a taxi driver.
What was that?
It wasn't me.
Sorry, that was a sneeze, yeah. No, but yeah, that's ridiculous. You're gonna sue people for coming together and wanting to work together in a free market and do stuff like that. That's ridiculous.
Well, they can't get their cut. That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
It's all about their cut.
Maybe they should do the same thing then.
Maybe they should bugger off.
So, well, until we have our guests on, there's been some new developments in the Robin Hooding case. We talked a couple weeks, it's been about 6 weeks now, when Garrett Ian got his camera stolen by the Stadies under the guise of a warrant for a suspicion of wiretapping, but the affidavit was not attached to the warrant. Well, that time frame came along on July 24th or 25th, where they're supposed to have the affidavit unsealed or whatever, and then Garrett went down to the police station and like, oh, it got extended to August 6th. So August 6th was tomorrow, and he finally got the affidavit, and it's an interesting read, to say the least. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet.
Are you gonna leave it there? I mean, give us some details, man.
So he went in to talk to the city attorney who is suing him and 5 others on some harassment charge, though it's in civil court, it's not criminal. So they know they don't have a case to begin with, because if it was criminal, they would have brought criminal charges against them. So now they're trying this civil mumbo jumbo and trying to make this buffer around the parking enforcers. And he went into the city attorney and talked to him, and the city attorney didn't want the conversation recorded. So Garrett didn't record the conversation, and he took handwritten notes. And then afterwards, he typed up a transcript of everything that was talked about. And one of the staties around here that don't like the Free Staters very much, he saw the transcript and couldn't believe that it was typed up from memory and handwritten notes. So he went to the city's attorney and asked about it and said, hey, this is a transcript that Garrett wrote up. And the city's attorney said that the conversation almost verbatim, and he couldn't believe that was the case. And it was like, he said there was like 3/4 of a page of handwritten notes that Garrett took, and that was it. And he couldn't believe that he would have gotten the conversation so accurate without wiretapping or recording him secretly. So that's all it said, is that they couldn't believe that he could have typed up a transcript. And that was really all that was in the affidavit.
Well, you're guilty until proven innocent. So, I mean, they have a pretty good case against him.
Yeah, and it's apparently the state, I don't know, quote unquote, crime lab that deals with digital stuff is backed up like a year on evidence. I don't know how you can possibly be backed up a year on digital information. So, this got pushed forward, so they managed to get it done in 45 days. Of course, there was nothing there. So we don't know where it's going to go from at this point. But yeah, I'm surprised that they actually pushed it forward, because there's another guy in town who they've had his camera for over a year now, and they're just barely returning it.
Without paying him for, compensating him for his time where he was unable to use his property.
Right. Well, with Garrett, I typed up, I created an invoice with rental fees that he's going to give to the city. Oh. But I made it standard, industry standard for camera rental, like how much it should cost. So, it's fair. We'll see if it actually gets paid. Probably not. I'll let you know how it goes. But the trial, or the evidentiary hearing, is scheduled for next Tuesday, I think. It's on the 12th. That's Tuesday. Monday. So we'll have more on that story definitely on next week's show. That's like an entire day's scheduled hearing. So we'll see how it goes. Right now, Pete is going pro se, but the rest of the Robin Hooders have been taken on by a constitutional lawyer named John Myers. So they should be in pretty good standing, because this guy's a rock star. So we'll see how it goes. Nice. And they're giving Pete all the fun questions to ask that the lawyer doesn't want to ask. So it should be interesting.
The lawyer, Pete doesn't care.
I know. He's been fighting the whole process to begin with. Just kind of going along with it. It's like, it's your process. You're going to do whatever you want to do. Da. So. So if you go to freekeene.com, you can see some of the video from the first hearing that they only scheduled a half hour for, but they're suing 6 people. I don't know who thought a half hour would be long enough to hear out 6 people. So they had to push it back till now. So we'll get to talk about that next week, definitely.
Have you seen the other crazy news? This article on the Homeland Security?
What'd they do now?
You have to be a little more specific.
The one I just posted in the chat.
I was too busy looking at this armed agents raid animal shelter for baby deer. Up yours so much.
That was ridiculous.
You suck. They killed Bambi. I mean, it was a baby deer. It was a little tiny thing. It had spots.
It was like 12 law enforcement agents involved. It's like, really? You needed to waste all this frickin' money on what you could have done with a frickin' phone call?
I can't believe they didn't have a helicopter and a Bearcat out there. Maybe they did. They just didn't want to talk about that.
They compared the raid to drugs. Unfortunately, I'm a bad reporter and never got to call the lady. Maybe I'll do that this week. Probably not, but, I'll say I did.
Too bad it's too late in the afternoon right now. I'd just say you just call them live on the show. But too late, though.
What was DHS doing?
All right, so you got the Department of Homeland Security is now basically through the Patriot Act and everything else, are trying to force enforcement that any and all live music played within the United States must have a permit from the Department of Homeland Security to be played.
What does DHS have anything to do with permitting?
What do they have to do with music?
What do they have to do with anything?
Yes.
Well, it's for the children.
But no, I found this article. This is on this article's on 8entertainmentgroup.com, which is an entertainment website for music and other things. And basically, they have this whole article about the fact that the Department of Homeland Security is now going to start mandatory. You basically have to get a permit from the state or the man to play music loud, anywhere. Whether it's like a live concert or you got a boombox on your shoulder or whatever the heck, they want their cut.
Man, I really want to find out more about this. Like if it's in a handbook or something, because they constantly have outdoor live music downtown on city property. So if I had this in writing, I'd be like, did you get a DHS permit for this? Did you get a DSH permit for this? That'd be pretty funny.
You should call the cops if they didn't. I would.
Well, the cops are always there. That's the thing. So we could ask the cops, hey, did somebody file a DHS permit for this?
Yeah, so basically in this article it says the DHS is actually saying that it's illegal to play music or operate a business where music is played for any reason without paying the Department of Homeland Security and giving them much personal and private information. Basically, you have to get the permit and they have to approve it. But again, the DHS has no jurisdiction in this, though. So basically what they're doing is they're associating themselves with the fire marshals to circumvent American constitutional rights and automatically give themselves jurisdiction in every business in the United States. They're using the fire marshal to enforce this through inspection of commercial public business.
So a quick Google search and Snopes comes up claiming this is false.
Okay.
Anybody who trusts Snopes is not to be trusted.
I know, but this also.
I looked into this entertainment group, and it's supposed to be a legit entertainment company. So,
yeah, it showed up in January. I don't know when this article is from.
This one I've got is July 20th, 2013.
Yeah, so if this was already out in January and they're coming up on this 6 months later, it's a little hard to believe.
Because the mainstream media is not covering it, or
Well, no, not the mainstream.
I'm playing
It's
devil's
just-
advocate here. I know.
It's just so late in the game that it'd show up suddenly again 6 months later. But I'll look into it some more.
Yeah, I tried to look into it a little bit, and I was just looking up this article from this website, and this website's supposed to be legit. It's not a spoof site. It's not anything. So I thought it was legit. Could be wrong though.
Yeah, it says it came up. There was an issue between a bar owner and local authorities, and the dispute had nothing to do with DHS, and is not relevant to any other state other than Indiana, where it comes to local businesses need permits for live music. I think it's just a state thing.
I do what I want.
That's right.
You're the boss of me. Who owns your music? That's the next shirt. Who owns your music?
There you go.
Yeah, it says in Indiana, the state law requires that places of amusement and entertainment obtain permits subject to approval for the fire and building inspectors, and a process involves the Indiana Department of Homeland Security Fire and Building Safety Division. So it sounds like Indiana's Department of Homeland Security. I wonder if that's actually related to the national, or if that already existed prior to DHS, and that's where the mix-up came.
Don't know. But it looks like we got our first two guests on. They are sitting there waiting for us. We want to go ahead and bring them on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got Jacob and Nathan. Nathan is from Peaceful Streets, Sandusky, and Jacob is... Oh, now I'm having a brain fart here. But these Peaceful Streets. I don't know. I'm brain farting here. Let's bring him on. He can tell us where he's from, because I forgot. Nathan, Jacob, are you there?
What's that? Yeah, I'm right here.
All right, cool.
Yes, I mean, come on now, Defiance, Ohio. That's like the coolest.
There we go.
That's the coolest named city that there's a Peaceful Streets.
Sorry, just having a brain fart there. Got too much going on the computer screen here.
So how you fellas doing?
Good. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on tonight, guys.
Hey, not a problem, man. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, man. We've been rocking and rolling ever since the last time.
Oh yeah. So tell us what you guys are up to. There's you guys are doing a big collaboration thing kind of going on there. What you guys got going on?
Yeah, actually, Peaceful Streets is doing a National Day of Action. So it's going to be the first time that every active chapter of Peaceful Streets is going to be doing some kind of direct action on this upcoming Saturday, the 10th. And we've invited Peaceful Streets Defiance here to Sandusky because we're going to do some Know Your Rights training. We're going to do a couple of film screenings, one of which is the group We Cop Watch out of California. They've got a film called These Streets Are Watching. If you haven't seen it and you're a cop blocker, I highly, highly recommend you checking that one out. And then after that, we're going to do the documentary called All Power to the People, which is the story of the Black Panthers. And the reason why we are showing that is Peaceful Streets Sandusky is getting ready to send a group on down to Austin, Texas on the 17th to participate in the second annual Police Accountability Summit where Bobby Seale will be speaking.
Awesome. So that's great news, guys. I'm glad you guys are got so much going on there.
We're rocking it, man. We're looking forward to having Defiance come on in and, kind of showing them some of our tactics, maybe hearing some of their ideas of what they'd like to do, and just really get them off on a really good first start. How you doing, Jacob?
I'm doing great. Glad to be on the show. Our Peaceful Streets Project chapter here in Defiance has only been active since July 14th, so we're really looking forward to meeting the guys in Sandusky and kind of getting a feel for how the Know Your Rights trainings and things like that go, so we can take it back here to Defiance and do some locally.
That's awesome. Hey, Jacob, what got you involved with Peaceful Streets? Made you want to start that?
I went to an event in New York City in April called Anarchy in NYC, and I met John Bush and Antonio Buehler there and heard their presentations, and just got me wanting to know more about it. So when I went home, I looked up a bunch of videos and saw the things and stuff like that, and they totally showed me how to start the chapter. It was really easy, and now we're really psyched to be a part of it.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, Antonio's a great guy. Good guy to talk to for information.
Okay,
Excuse me.
Super helpful.
Oh, yeah. So anything else you guys got going on as far as collaboration with the Ohio area there?
Well, like I said, other than, we've got the Police Accountability Summit coming up, which, as far as anyone that's been able to research it, it's going to be the biggest event of its type in history. I mean, it's got, like I said, Bobby Seals, the keynote speaker, and Radley Balco. He's a writer for the Huffington Post and author of the book Rise of the Warrior Cop. He's another keynote speaker. Carlos Miller, founder and publisher for Photography's Not a Crime. He's going to be speaking. Pete from Copblock is going to be there, and Antonio and John Bush will both be doing a presentation. And we've got, have you guys heard of B. Dolan and heard the song Film the Police, where they redid the other F the Police song, but added camera work as the one of the lyrics in the song is "Reach for your cell if you want to shoot a cop." It's pretty catchy. And Tatiana Moroz is going to be playing as well, and there'll be other people, and they've got breakdown sessions as far as they've got one session about why are cops shooting our dogs and how to film police. So it's going to be a really educational experience, and that's August 17th in Austin, Texas. If you're anywhere close, I highly advise you going. It's a free event. There's going to be food, and you can't even use that you got your kids as an excuse because childcare will be provided, and I'm pretty sure that's being headed up by Catherine Bleich, and if you know anything about her, your kids are pretty safe.
Nice.
It's really cool, man. We're gonna celebrate how much this movement has grown in the year 2013, and really looking forward to how much more it's going to grow in the next year. But yeah, we're looking forward. We're pretty excited to be going and representing Northern Ohio, because it seems to me that there's quite a emerging little resistance going on here in the Buckeye State. We got Cleveland Copblock, we've got Peaceful Streets Sandusky, we've got Peaceful Streets Defiance, now with Peaceful Streets Toledo cropping up. We almost got the whole top third of Ohio on police accountability lockdown. It's pretty wonderful. All these cops are constantly going to be wondering where the video camera is now. And I couldn't be happier about that.
Nice. Now, Nathan, how has Sandusky been going?
Sandusky's been rocking, man. Yeah. We've been gaining people, and we've turned some people who were completely adversarial at first, and we've actually turned them into supporters. We've gained some allies and some members to the group that are going to complement what we've got going on at a national level. We're just gaining momentum, it seems, at every turn. So, it's in Sandusky, it's really rocking, and I couldn't be happier with how the community is embracing us, and that's everybody except for the police. And some of the messages and some of the information that I've got from inside sources that I prefer not to blow them out of the water live on the radio, but let's just say that we are accomplishing the mission of shifting the culture. And that's absolute fact. We've changed the way the police patrol downtown Sandusky. They no longer, at least if they know Peaceful Streets is down there, they no longer patrol like crazy. Matter of fact, we've had one person downtown Sandusky joke that they were going to get a life-size cutout of me standing there with my video camera to put in their front window of their business and use it as a cop scarecrow.
It's like where they had the cutout of the guy with the speed gun. So we have to go to break. After the break, we'll have more with Nathan and Jacob. You're listening to the CopBlock Radio Show on FPRN.
Mr. President, members of Congress, you've been making a lot of noise about taking our guns away. But you might want to review history. 1835, Gonzales, Texas Territory. The authorities wanted to confiscate the big gun that protected that colony. You know what the people said? Come and take it. Because they were willing to fight for their freedom and their guns. So are we.
Come and take it if you want it. Come and take it if you think you can. Come and take it, but I warn you, you'll have to pry it from my cold dead hands. We want the freedom that God gave us, so you best not cross that line. If you want this gun, you gotta come through us and take it.
One shot at a time. Just like Gonzales, we're keeping our guns.
In every age, a technology is created that upends the foundations of society. The wheel, the printing press, the internet. Now, in a world sliding into financial chaos, a new technology is changing the way monetary systems work around the world. It is called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a new form of money, controlled not by banks, governments, or corporations, but through mutual commerce between free individuals. To learn more, visit weusecoins.com.
Talk about a wake-up call. I was paying for all the doctor's visits, insurance premiums, and medical costs out of pocket. All these expenses were keeping me from living the carefree lifestyle that I wanted. Then the government told me about Obamacare. Now with Obamacare, I don't worry about my health care. I eat whatever I want, whenever I want. I get all my prescription drugs for free, and there's no more coverage gap. I no longer need to worry about pre-existing conditions. We can see any doctor whenever we want for any reason, and so can everyone else.
Obamacare is not for everyone, like Congressman. If you are already healthy, do not use Obamacare, as you will see your premiums go up. If you are a sick person, do not use Obamacare, as you will see your premiums go up. Many people on Obamacare may experience longer wait times and fewer doctors, and denial of your treatment of choice. If you are faced with a healthcare situation, you may be denied treatment through government rationing.
Obamacare even covers my kids up to age 26.
If you experience a recession lasting more than 4 years, stop taking Obamacare and contact a travel agent to move to the Bahamas or New Zealand.
And the best thing is that Obamacare is free.
Obamacare is not free. Obamacare will increase the national debt by $863 billion in 10 years. Your taxes will go up $569 billion by 2019. If you see a major jump in your premiums, you should opt out of Obamacare immediately. Opting out of Obamacare is illegal and will incur major fines and penalties unless you are a union member who received a special waiver from the Obama administration. Obama is not responsible for the negative effects on the economy, your pocketbook, your freedoms, or your health.
Obama solved all my problems.
Obamacare. Live your carefree lifestyle.
Nothing is more American than diamond gusset jeans. 100% American made since 1987. Soft and broken in from the start, yet more rugged and durable than any jean you've ever worn. Have you ever experienced missized jeans from China? Well, you won't with Diamond Gusset. Every pair is crafted to fit exactly the same and always feel like they were custom made. Need a 35, 37, or 39 waist? How about a 31 inseam? We keep all sizes in stock for the fit you need. Looking for a relaxed fit, slim fit, regular fit, boot cut, or straight leg? We got you covered. Buy the world's best fitting jeans at Gusset.com or call 1-888-8GUSSET. Get free gusset targets for the next time you go to the shooting range with the purchase of their new Ranger Gene. Use code COMFORT when ordering to receive free shipping on all gusset orders at gusset.com. That's gusset.com to get only the best all-American jeans.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. You can listen live at www.fprnradio.com.
Changes, rearrange your brain, ninja gate, and secret agent dreams will make you think creative. Check it out, a trick I happen to find one day accidentally while passing the time. A game to play that makes magic arise. Close your eyes, look at the back of your mind. Now turn around and move to the front. Upward and down, turning two into one. Change your surroundings till you have become a musical sound produced by tunes and a drum. Experience stillness, and you will get a million feelings revealed.
And we're back on the CopBlock Radio Show live on FPRN Radio, and hopefully syndicated across the internet and downloadable in a podcast form after the show. We are speaking with Nathan from PSP Sandusky and Jacob from the new PSP Defiance. Both of those are in Ohio. So, Jacob, you started the project in Defiance. Is there any issues happening in Defiance right now that are popping up on your radar?
We've had a lot of people give us tips where DUI checkpoints and things like that are going to be, and while we haven't actually been out there to Copblock or film or anything like that, that's one of the things that's on our agenda that we'd like to be a part of. Definitely people have, since we started the group and put the Facebook page and all that up, people have definitely, at least through private messages to me since then, have indicated a lot of misconduct by the police in ways where they're being like intimidating or lying or threatening and things like that. So definitely in our community, it seems like there's a need for it and people are responding to it so far. Hopefully that'll increase over time with more events like Know Your Rights trainings and more positive things like that too.
So, Nathan, the last time we spoke was very early in the Copblock Radio Show's history. We had an interview with you and Robert, and since then, I believe you guys had a bike week, didn't you?
Yeah, the Ohio Bike Week, which is the largest motorcycle rally in the Midwest. And we were out doing that for 4 days solid. We were out there, had different teams. We had Jacob from Copblock, Ohio, come out and join us, as well as Dio from Copblock, Cleveland, came in for one of the days, and we covered that place good. There's hours upon hours upon hours of video loaded onto our YouTube channel. Some of it's fun, some of it's boring, but all of it is police accountability. Well, not all of it. I think there's some motorcycle stuff that Robert just couldn't help but to film and put online. But yeah, it was really good. I'm looking forward to getting my hands. I don't think they've published the actual statistics as far as arrest stats where I can compare it to last year, but I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it because I'm willing to bet that there was a decrease, at least in the downtown Sandusky area where peaceful streets were.
So we have a few minutes before we have to go on to the other two guests from Ohio. You guys have anything you want to add before we let you go?
No, I'm good, man. Thanks for everything you guys do. It sounds like you guys are really, you guys are super active. You guys are all over the place, man. Thank you.
Wait, man, I just want to say, if you're in the northern Ohio region and you got nothing going on Saturday, come on into Sandusky and join up with us for the film screening. We'll feed you and we'll be good conversation, and we're going to film a couple of movies, and then we're going to do some cop blocking and all kinds of Know Your Rights training in between. We actually have got a real past the bar lawyer going to be there, going to probably saying, Nathan, you're a little radical. So if these guys don't want to go to jail, they might not want to do that, but that's just kind of the way I roll. But we're doing that. And then I also urge any listeners out there that if you are unable for whatever reason to get your boots on concrete, to get out to do cop blocking yourself, that the Peaceful Streets Summit coming up is going to be a landmark event in police accountability, and we need everybody's help. And there's a chip-in page set up for donations that you can donate and help us to cover these costs of the venue, which it's at an AT&T center. Where, like I said, we're having world-class speakers, and if you can donate as much as $5, I've been telling people, donate $5, take a screen cap, put it in your favorite cop's name, and put it on Facebook, and enjoy the laughs. But, just help out any way you can. If you can get out, if you can share the event, this is a huge movement. It's sweeping the country, and if we keep up this momentum, guys, we can make some serious change.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for coming on, and we look forward to hearing back from you guys in the future.
Awesome. Thanks.
Good deal, man. Yes. Thanks for having us on, man. And I look forward to hearing Dio in the next Dio from Copblock Cleveland in the next segment, correct?
Yep.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for having us on, man. Save a life. Film a cop.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. So now I guess we'll work on getting our other guests on, but that right there is showing another example of the decentralized model, not just in Copblock, but in Peaceful Streets. And they've set up a brand new chapter in Defiance, Ohio, which is really cool.
That's awesome. I love how much energy Nathan has. He's just totally raring to go all the time. It's a ton of energy. Good guy.
Yeah, it started off rough, but it was a good interview the first time we interviewed them. So you can go check that over on the Copblock Radio Show's YouTube page. We have I think it's about 45 minutes that we talked to him and Robert from Sandusky. So that was really cool.
No, yeah, that was a good interview for the beginning of our show, and we were just learning how to do this stuff.
Yeah, and if there are any other groups out there that want to talk about what's going on in their area, or they're starting up a brand new chapter or anything like that, you can get a hold of us, Copblock Radio Show at copblock.org, and we can set up a date that'll work for you, and you can come on and talk about what's going on, and that's all. It helps because I know people kind of get down in the dumps a little if they can't reach out to others, but this is a good way that you can reach out and show that you're at least trying to do something in your area. So I think we have our next two guests ready to go. So we have.
Well, I was just informed we lost one of the guests, but we got to fill in.
All right.
We lost one that we were supposed to have, but we have a new guest that's joining Dio. We have Jonathan Beavers from Georgia Copblock. Yeah.
Is that
What's
all
up,
we
man?
have?
How are you?
I think we just saw Dio dropped.
Uh-oh.
Dio dropped on us.
Oh, we lost Dio. All right, well, we got Jonathan. Jonathan, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about you guys?
Good. Doing great as always.
Good.
At least trying.
I hear you. Where can I get one of these pressure cookers at?
They're in the backpack department.
All right.
You can order those after the show. You can message us.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, what got you involved with Copblock?
Well, basically, when the city of Canton, here in Georgia, where I'm at, they just where I found out where they just wanted to make up their own laws as they go. I mean, these folks. I mean, just like earlier today, I just witnessed a city of Canton officer just whip around a U-turn in the middle of the street and almost hit a couple of folks in the process. I mean, they'll shoot you for any reason around here. If you even breathe through the wrong nostril, they'll shoot you.
Did you get it on film?
Ridiculous.
Hello?
Hello?
Theo, is that you?
Yes, it is me.
Ah, Dio, how you doing?
Hey, we got disconnected. Sorry about that.
All good. It happens.
Cool. Yeah, pleasure hearing from Nathan and Jacob. I just wanted to give a little shout out to Jacob. He did a hell of a job confronting his town council. They were doing a chalking event, and he basically, confronted the town council, and they were saying it's illegal to chalk, and he was like, well, what about these artists that are being praised in the newspaper? Is this evidence of a crime?
He didn't even tell us about that.
He didn't.
They basically shut him up, but I mean, he's doing a hell of a job. All he got to do is keep their feet to the fire, keep on them.
Oh yeah.
He's doing really good. We here Saturday, we're also in Greater Cleveland. Copblock's also having our first meeting as well. So, we're gonna, have our meeting and whatnot, and then go out and see if we can capture some video from around Cleveland.
That's nice. Now, Jonathan, have you gotten to the point where you're starting to carry a camera everywhere with you yet?
Oh yeah, I carry a camera all the time. If I ain't got a camera, I grab somebody else's camera and record as well.
Nice.
Pleasure, by the way, Jonathan. It's the first time I got to speak to him.
Nice to meet you too, brother.
Yep.
Thanks for inviting me for your fill-in, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I
was shooting for next week, but this is a surprise.
It works.
We do what we do.
Yeah. The beauty of live radio.
We're on free radio too, right? Like no restrictions and stuff like that?
Yeah, you can
say
fuck.
Yeah.
Shit, this cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits. I always wanted to do that.
We're glad we could oblige you.
Yes.
Now I'll make sure I have to put the little explicit tag on the iTunes thing.
I don't watch any videos that aren't explicit anymore.
It's alright, this has already been flagged enough times because of backpacks and pressure cookers, so we're okay.
So I should be starting to visit at my house pretty soon?
Yeah, the NSA will show up.
Okay. As long as I'm prepared.
Just show them your badge.
Yeah, I ain't got mine yet, man. I'm working on it.
I wear mine everywhere. I wore it to a probation office the other day.
I wear my bracelet when I go there. My Copblock bracelet.
So, Jonathan, when did you start Georgia Copblock?
I started it back in last year, actually.
All right.
I was trying to get with Anonymous and try to get them after the state of Georgia government, but they referred me to CopBlockradioshow, and I noticed there wasn't anybody that started the Georgia group other than East Atlanta Cop Watch, and then I started Georgia Copblock and started from there. Started with a Facebook page, and then I connected with Liberty Web Alliance and folks there hooked me up with a website. So,
can we just clarify that real quick? I just wanted to make sure that everybody's aware that the pages are there for spreading the word. The groups are there to support the pages. And I think if we all can get on the same page with that our numbers will start skyrocketing, because, I was doing that Greater Cleveland Copblock group for such a long time, and I found out I was only talking to myself and the people in the group. When you have a page, you're talking to a hell of a lot more people, and there's a lot more people that can get involved and stuff like that. So
yeah, I'm running a Copblock page on Facebook.
Yeah, I know you are, Jonathan, but I mean, there's other groups out there. I know Central Florida was having a little trouble earlier. I was talking to him before the show, trying to set him straight about how to start a page and all that. So,
okay.
I just wanted to put it out there for, if anybody's listening, if they're thinking about starting something up, start with a page.
Yeah. Best way to go. I mean, the pages will drive traffic to the websites as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. We got friends in Anonymous, obviously, that sending people our way. That's good stuff.
I am not affiliated.
We've also got in Greater Cleveland. We've also, between Sandusky and us, I've managed to get in contact with a lawyer who's supportive, and Nathan's also got in contact with a lawyer who's supportive. So we now have legal representation as well. So I think that's a big thing that the movement as a whole needs is good legal representation that's willing to stand up and not just take the plea and all that.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's one of the problems that we have is the whole need to have a license to practice law And if you piss off enough of the judicial system, they yank your license and then you're screwed. So it's kind of hard to find lawyers that will go out on a limb because then they get backlash and get their license yanked, and that's always a problem for them.
That's true. I mean, we're all taking risks here, so I don't think anybody's is any greater than anybody else's. We're all putting our asses out there on the line, so it's helpful, and I appreciate the two guys that have stepped up and come in and offered us their help.
Good stuff. Dio, a question for you real quick.
Okay.
Since you're in Cleveland there, what are your thoughts on this whole entire event from last year where they're now finding 75 cops were completely violating the law and chasing those suspects and shooting them a whole bunch?
Don't get me started.
Well, I figure that's your area. Let's hear it.
Yeah. No, seriously, that's fucked up. That whole situation was fucked up from the beginning. I mean, they, as far as I'm concerned, that goes to show that, that shows a lot, that just it's almost like a benchmark of how we're treated around here, and I believe that a lot of people that don't get involved with this movement and stuff, the reason why they don't get involved is because they know, who has the upper hand. They don't realize to carry the cameras and stuff. So, that's shit like that happens, but they're starting to realize now. I went to Parma myself, filed a complaint on a couple of officers, and I told the captain that I was complaining to, I said, look, this is my name, this is what I do, this is what I'm going to be doing, and I don't expect to be getting shit from your officers for it. So, ever since then, I haven't really been messed with myself, but that whole situation down there on the east side, that was just crazy. I've been trying to get in touch with people. If anybody's listening that might be in contact with people that are close to that case or whatnot, please contact me through Greater Cleveland CopBlock on the Facebook page so we can get to talking and see if we can, try to find some accountability.
Sure, I'm sure. Sorry, my mic was muted there. Wow. Eric, I know you probably got some comments on this since you were down close to that area. Aren't anymore, but were.
Well, yeah, I think that's the northern Ohio is where the people were most active, where I was in Columbus, and there were a few people in Cleveland, but not a whole lot. Though we do have a new guy has gone down, and he's just outside of Cleveland, right on the border there with Kentucky. So hopefully we'll start seeing stuff coming out of there. But
yeah, from Cincinnati, right? He went to Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's just outside. So I think he's he's technically in Kentucky, but I think he's trying to merge the two.
Yeah, we were all. There's a guy that was moving from Syracuse to Cincinnati, and he's the one that's basically doing whatever he's doing with Cincinnati CopBlock guy by the name of Kurt. And me and Jacob and Nathan and Scotty from Toledo were all talking. We were all brainstorming ideas and stuff like that, trying to get everybody together on the same page and all that kind of stuff. It's difficult. Columbus is 2.5 hours from me in Cleveland. Toledo is 2 hours. Defiance is like 2 hours. Even Sandusky is like an hour. Cincinnati's 4 hours away, so it's hard to get everybody to get together at the same time in the same place.
Yeah, that's kind of, especially in a state that size, you just kind of need to get closer in the locales. Because, like you said, it's a 2-hour drive between each of the 3 large cities, and then on the outside, Cincinnati, Cleveland's the 4-hour drive. So it's kind of rough having a whole state-wide CopBlock when it's just such a large state. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to spread it out that thin.
Yeah, not with the little amount of people that you actually got that are willing to get involved in stuff. Yeah, you got to kind of compartmentalize it and bring it down to the city level, and from there, we'll see what happens from there. I would have thought, you being in Columbus, I would have thought you would have had at least some, some interest shown, being the capital and all, but whatever.
Apparently, we don't have a huge issue when it comes to police in the capital, which is weird.
You mean the capital, the one that was just doing not DUI stops, but just like checkpoints in the middle of the day for no reason at all? That
happened after I left. I'm like, oh, really? Come on.
Yeah.
They were waiting for you to leave. That's what it was.
They were waving him as he was going out on the highway.
Yep. Yep. Now, I thought it was good stuff, the fact that they actually even acknowledged the fact that these 75 officers were in the wrong. I mean, obviously the whole entire situation was screwed, but the fact that they're acknowledging that this many officers were in the wrong, I thought was a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean,
of course, it's unlikely anybody's going to
with
face
something
a charge.
like that and something so big, somebody's got to be held accountable somewhere down the line. I mean, personally, the 75 guys, yeah, they may have been involved in stuff, but still, to a certain point, they're scapegoats. You know, you don't know for sure what went on and all that. You're only taking their word for it. So it's like, you know, okay, well, I guess we got 75. So, you know. And a lot of them are on fucking paid administrative leave while they're going through all this bullshit, which is crazy.
Yeah,
I'm paying
nobody's
their
going to
fucking
see a
salaries on
charge,
top
though
of it all.
they should charge the guy. There had to have been at least one person who reloaded, so whoever reloaded should at least catch a charge, because they are obviously going willy-nilly, just unloading their magazine and reloading.
I mean, just the fact the guy, what's his name, DeWine, the district attorney for Cleveland or whatnot, he went on record saying that you know, it's policy that only 2 cars are supposed to join a chase. So he had like 100 and something cars joining the chase. I mean, to me right there, that's enough people right there to be reprimanding for at least breaking policy.
And the people who did the shooting, the newest person had been on the force for like 7 years, but most of them were well over 10, so they knew what the hell they were doing. It's not like this was their first rodeo or anything. I mean, some of the guys have been on the force for 25 years, and they still get all riled up, and this is what happens.
I thought that there was officers they actually told to stop following, and they disobeyed the orders.
I heard something like that back in when the chase was going on and stuff like that. I heard, you know, like right after it happened and whatnot. I heard that as well. But I don't have any evidence or whatever of that, but I did hear that when it happened.
Oh yeah, and like you said, Eric, yeah, they may have acknowledged the fact that these officers in the wrongdoing, but of course, no one will be punished for it.
Yeah, it'll be slaps on the wrist. It'll be, you know, they'll do their time, and when people forget about what happened, they'll be trying to get their jobs back.
No, they'll get 2 weeks paid vacation.
Yeah,
we've investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing.
The scumbag who arrested me in Parma, I found out after the fact that he was fired and rehired under the same type of violating someone's Fourth Amendment type situation.
Oh, jeez.
You know? So it's like, okay, but that wasn't evidence in my trial? I don't get it. You know?
I know. It's those stupid police unions that have all these crazy rules, and then they have these stupid review boards that are totally stacked, and they just shove the guys right back on the force. Like the guy who's in Florida, he's been fired like 8 times and has been forced to be rehired by these stupid review boards.
Yeah, and he's a violent motherfucker too.
So Jonathan, bring you back in on this here, since you're just kind of sitting there.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hog the interview.
Yeah, don't want to leave you out here.
All you, brother.
Jonathan, is there anything interesting happening in your area recently, or anything you're focused on to try to bring attention to?
Well, actually, there is. A friend of mine sent me a video about the DeKalb County Sheriff's Department busting in these folks' door in DeKalb County. I sent a video. He sent me a video link to it, and I actually called them folks just a little while ago, you know, and picked on them a little bit and asked them.
Right on, man.
I was like, so what's the difference? So you think you just go bang on anybody's door random hours of the night and just harass them, even though it's the wrong house, and they told you it's the wrong house? And
did they have to tell them it was the wrong house? All you got to do is look at the fucking number on the door, right?
I know, or the mailbox. I mean,
you know.
Yeah.
Is this video? Is that the video, Scott, you posted up today?
Yeah, that's the same one. That's
that video.
I was dying on that.
Every time I see somebody share that video, it boils my fucking blood every time I see that.
Right.
Yeah, I watched that video for the first time this morning, and yeah, it got me pretty heated.
Yeah, and then plus they got the balls to come in there and like berate the family for not answering the door and shit like that. I mean, what kind of professionalism is that?
How dare you exercise your rights?
Yeah.
they had guys' mom scared to death to where she was in tears, man.
Yeah.
It was just fucking ridiculous. So I called them. They said, "Sir, you're going to have to call back during normal business hours." I said, "Well, you're an officer. You obviously know who did it or what the deal was about it." And then I said, "By the way, you're being recorded, but even though in the state of Georgia you don't have to tell them, you can covertly record in the state of Georgia."
Oh, I wish in Ohio.
One party consent there.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. So the recording law is kind of working in my favor down here. But then I forgot what I was asking, and then the chick hung up on me, and I called right back, and I didn't get an answer. So I'm gonna call back tomorrow and mess with them some more.
Hell yeah, get it audio recorded, post it up. I plan on it. I just wish I can't do speakerphone on my friggin' phone here, man. This little ghetto phone or whatnot.
What type of phone is it? Android?
It's a little house phone, a little handheld. I'm thinking I'm gonna use my girlfriend's iPhone tomorrow, doing it that she'll let me.
I usually use my wife's phone to record a conversation that I'm having on my phone.
Yeah, there's apps for Android and iPhones for recording conversations like that.
All right, well, we gotta go to break, but we'll have more with Dio and oh crap, I don't know the guy's name, John. And we'll be back. You're listening to the Copblock Radio Show on FPRN.
Tired of living in a violent society? If every citizen was armed, no one would be dumb enough to shoot people. It's exactly the ethos our founding fathers had when they wrote the Constitution and then changed it, which is what makes it sacred now. Come mingle with safety-minded people like you at the Liberty City Gun Club. Our nation is still the world leader in one thing: armaments. Nothing says excitement like a night out with a small caliber semi-automatic weapon. Get social at the Liberty City Gun Club.
Well, yeah, it's getting tough out there. Yeah, no doubt. I work in home invasions, mostly. Some murder, occasional rape, if she's hot, or really bitchy. And I'm a huge advocate of gun control, absolutely. Every time I kick in a door or smash a window, I face the possibility of being shot and killed. Allowing citizens to own guns creates a hostile work environment for me and my associates. No one should have to work under those conditions. I say make them all illegal, absolutely. I mean, I break the law for a living. I'm a professional, so it doesn't really bother me. No doubt. No doubt.
Your local violent criminals work hard and put their lives on the line every time they attempt to murder, rape, abduct, or assault a member of the citizenry. They desperately need your help. With your support, there may finally come a day when a violent criminal can have his way with you or someone you love without the fear, anxiety, and stress caused by knowing there's a possibility his victim might be armed. Please show your support by voting for stronger anti-gun legislation, because criminals prefer unarmed citizens.
Nothing is more American than Diamond Gusset jeans. 100% American made since 1987. Soft and broken in from the start, yet more rugged and durable than any jean you've ever worn. Have you ever experienced missized jeans from China? Well, you won't with Diamond Gusset. Every pair is crafted to fit exactly the same and always feel like they were custom made. Need a 35, 37, or 39 waist? How about a 31 inseam? We keep all sizes in stock for the fit you need. Looking for a relaxed fit, slim fit, regular fit, boot cut, or straight leg? We got you covered. Buy the world's best fitting jeans at gusset.com or call 1-888-8GUSSET. Get free Gusset targets for the next time you go to the shooting range with the purchase of their new Ranger jean. Use code COMFORT when ordering to receive free shipping on all Gusset orders at gusset.com. That's gusset.com to get only the best all-American jeans.
Do you have a group or organization founded on the principles of personal liberty, health freedom, or accountable government? We invite you to check out Same Side Entertainment. Same Side is a source for activists and liberty organizations to connect with well-known leaders in today's growing movement for sustainable living, personal liberty, and sovereignty issues. Same Side has a variety of keynote speakers, debate panels, interactive web presentations, musicians, and liberty-based entertainment, as well as services for web design, graphic design, video, and photography. Same Side can help customize your event by connecting you to the best of the liberty and political world while staying within your budget. Get connected with leaders in the liberty movement like Tom Woods, Kevin Gutzman, Jack Hunter, Robert Scott Bell, Bob Murphy, Michael Scheuer, John Bush, Jordan Page, Tatiana Moroz, and many more. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at www.samesideentertainment.com. Again, that's www.samesideentertainment.com. Same Side Entertainment, connecting you with the education and resources you need.
To think something so small could control you.
And everything you do.
When your life and all you love are on the line. The RFID chip is always with you, threatening your privacy, causing severe risk to your health and personal safety, and killing you if you do not obey rogue government demands.
Because I want to increase my risk of cancer.
Because I want to live in a cash-free society.
Because now the government is looking out for us.
Because I have the mark of the beast, but it doesn't have me.
Ask your doctor how to get your chip implanted today.
Because we want to track your every move.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. You can listen live at www.fprnradio.com.
Sometimes it takes a wake-up call to put things into perspective, show you what really matters. So easy to lose it all. Let us all have that wake-up call. What if we were really free? Wonder what it would be like to be free.
We are back on the Copblock Radio Show live on FPRN and syndicated across the internet and downloadable as a podcast after the show. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Diamond Gusset. You can check them out over at gusset.com. They're 100% American-made jeans, both in make and raw materials. And I know Adam likes them because you can get the in-between sizes that you normally can't get in the store, which is nice. So check them out, gusset.com. And if you want to advertise on FPRN, or you might want your own show because you just want one because it's fun, you can go to FPRNradio.com, and there's a tab for advertisers, and there's also a contact. You can get in contact with the guys who produce all of this great content here at FPRN, and they can hook you up. So,
I love how you always call me out on the oddball sizes there. It's good stuff.
Well, you're the only one who wants the all ball sizes. I'm good with the off. I'm lucky. I guess I have the off the rack sizes. So.
You have the mainstream average size.
So
it's either too big or too small. I need it in between.
Yep. So before the break, we were talking about, I believe it was John who was talking about making phone calls and whatnot. And I have a little tip that might be useful for some. If you have like a Gmail account or something, you can get a free phone number, which is awesome. So you can just use like your headset through your computer. So you can have a free phone number that just goes straight to, you can just through your Gmail. So then you don't have to worry about them tracking your phone or something, which is really cool.
That's good. No, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and there's a record option too. So it's kind of buried in the settings, but you can find it. So it's nice because I got a Vermont phone number that I can call from.
Wasn't me.
I got a quick question. Where do the commercials come from? Those things just trip me up.
They're hilarious.
I'm gonna send anthrax to Obama.
I think the anthrax one was Pierce Morgan, but you know.
It's a hostile work environment for me and my colleagues.
The Everybody Talk Like a Terrorist obviously is our favorite one. You know, we play that one over and over again while we're Googling backpacks and pressure cookers.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
You guys are funny.
What are you doing? It sounds like somebody's packing something.
Not me.
Anyways, was there anything else you wanted to add about the situation in Georgia where they're bashing in the guy's door?
I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna fuck with them tomorrow and see what happens. Maybe they'll come arrest me. I'm gonna aggravate the shit out of them.
Yeah, earlier we were talking about the IQ thing, and you listen to some of the cops talking. It's like, no wonder they're cops. They can't even speak English. They're called articles. Use them.
Yeah.
You got a dangling participle hanging there.
Adam or Scott, you have anything to add to this conversation?
What were you saying, Eric?
That was it?
That was it. Just take yourself off mute so you hear a fan or something.
Is that me?
Am I back on now? I'm live too?
Yeah, we're good. We can hear all of you.
Okay. I just wanted to add when Adam was saying before about the, or maybe it was Scott was saying about the veteran police in Cleveland there. I had an experience with a Lieutenant Butler, and yes, I'm going to put his name out there because I'm gunning for you, pal. He was in his minivan. I was on my way to work. I got behind him in the left-hand lane on the inner belt. He brake checked me, and I knew he was going to do it, so I got around him real quick. He wrote me a ticket for speeding and reckless op. He didn't send it to me till 4 months later in the mail. He went into court and tried to convince the judge that he was in a police cruiser when he was really in his minivan. He was on his way to work. He wasn't even on duty. And the judge bought it, hook, line, and sinker. So, I mean, that's, indicative of the way they are around here.
That sounds like a incident we had here where a guy was supposedly seen driving when he had a suspended license, but the guy the cop who saw him was in his personal vehicle, and then he showed up like 3 days later at the guy's door to hand him a ticket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically the same thing. I mean, this guy, he actually called up because, my cars are registered in my girlfriend's name and whatnot, and he actually called her up and started threatening her and telling her she had a warrant and shit like that when it was all false. She called up and they said, no, there's no warrant for you. He was just trying to scare you. I mean, they actually admitted that to her on the phone. I was like, what? Really? And then to get a ticket 4 months later in the mail and have to show up, I was like, what is this all about? And then when we got to court and I seen the guy, I was like, yeah, I remember this asshole.
Isn't there any, statute of limitations on that?
I guess not. I mean, the judge bought the story hook, line, and sinker, like I said. I mean, she was another one, Angela Stokes, judge in Cleveland, clueless. She's over there and she's bitching at people using their phones in the courtroom, and not even using them, but just looking to see what time it was or whatever. And she's bitching at them, and she stops the entire court proceedings to bitch at these people. Then she turns around and shows a picture on her phone to her bailiff. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? She let some prosecutor come in or some lawyer come in, put his feet up on the fucking desk, started using his tablet and his phone at the same time. She didn't say word one to him.
Man, it's like when you go to the doctor and it has the little sign that says the cell phone can screw up the equipment, yet when the doctor comes in, they're screwing with their BlackBerry and the laptop that they're using is Wi-Fi and all that shit.
I mean, really?
So before
go ahead.
Oh, you're good. Go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, one of the things that I was thinking about whenever I was watching this video early, right before I posted, I'm watching the video, then I post it up so the guys can see it before the show, and everybody's pretty much on the same page that everyone's not a violent person by any means, but there's gonna come a time where someone is gonna defend themselves. And they're going to be right for doing so. And I mean, it could have already happened, but I get concerned because I know somebody's going to be doing the right thing by defending themselves, and they're going to pay the price for the mistakes that somebody else made. Like this old guy that was in like Missouri or whatever, he was defending his home from a no-knock raid, and here it was the wrong door. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That Marine in Arizona, right? They pumped him full of lead. He had no idea what the hell was going on. He grabbed his AR-15. That was the last thing he ever did.
Or you go out to get a pack of cigarettes from your car.
On your own property, in your driveway.
Watering your lawn, right? Heard that
neighbor's
one?
lawn.
Somebody got, I think it was in Florida, where they got shot. They were watering their lawn, and they had the nozzle in their hand. Cops thought it was a gun. Shot him.
How in the hell do you think a nozzle to a water hose is a fucking gun?
I wish I could answer that.
There was another one that was a guy, I think he was in an alleyway or something. He might have been a bum, and he was holding underwear. The guy was not wearing any pants. He had his underwear in his hand, and they murdered him. And that's one thing that we need to start doing a better job at, is calling it what it is. It's murder.
Exactly.
We need to do a better job of being truthful and actually saying, hey, that's murder. That's not a cop shooting somebody. That's a cop murdering them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, if you don't shoot the terrorists with a water hose, they will win.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
So what?
You were going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to make a comment about, officers murder, and I was thinking about, I think it was last month, there was a Woodstock police officer. He was a canine handler, and he left his dog in the back of the car, and it died of heat exhaustion.
Mm.
And I got a bunch of folks riled up, and we called and harassed the Pickens County District Attorney's office, and, asked them why he's not being charged with murder of a police officer and things like that. And that prompted an investigation where he was charged with animal cruelty, and he was relieved from K-9 unit.
Yeah, he was just
suffered
demoted.
Like $6,000 pay cut from duty. He got non-paid administrative leave. I mean, we had him fucked up there.
That's awesome. It's good to hear that you got that done.
Did he leave the dog in the car for like 2 days? It was like over the entire weekend?
No, it was just for maybe like 4 hours. And I've heard rumors that there's like some kind of mechanism or device in the police cars that like alert the handlers. Like if the car reaches a certain temperature, it alerts the handler to, go check on it and whatnot. But the officer left his car and he made up some story that he had to go check on his kids or something, or his wife, and left the car in there. Well, if you go check on your kids or something, you don't go check on them about 4 or 5 hours and you leave your animal in the back of the car. I mean, come on, man. Go make sure they're all right, come back out and get the dog, or just take the dog in with you or whatnot. Or just don't go home while you're on duty. Keep your ass on the streets and do your fucking job.
For sure.
Shit kind of pissed me off there.
No, like for me, for one, like I said, I'm glad you were able to get that done. I appreciate the effort. That's
no
huge.
problem. Anytime I see a cop fucking up, man, I'm gonna bust them out. I mean, they're gonna snitch on us. Might as well we do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get them on camera, and I'm gonna show that to everybody.
Well, speaking of snitching, I mean, the cops, they lie for a living, but yet their testimony on the stand is like gold. What's up with that?
I don't know, man. Everybody around here, I've noticed, cops, judges, lawyers, DAs, they're all in each other's pockets, The DA will convict somebody to get them to go to prison and talk to the judge, make a person sound all bad and shit, and then they go to chain gang, and then they all go out to lunch together.
Yeah, go play golf.
Yeah, butt buddies.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's why I'm glad to have, now that I have all the, more resources that I have now than when we started this whole thing with, Nathan and Jacob and everybody, we got from Cleveland to Toledo locked up, so down to Defiance, Cincinnati. Once Kurt gets there, we're gonna start getting this state on lockdown.
Yeah, there you go. I get submissions from all over the state just about.
Yeah.
It's just me and another guy right now. We're located here in Canton, inside of Cherokee County, and I make do with what I can get. I hooked up Liberty Web Alliance so more folks can, submit, information and whatnot. We can help them file complaints if it does any good, and so on. So try to make sure we're a good outlet for everybody to use.
Yeah,
here
absolutely.
in Georgia.
Absolutely. Cleveland, Ohio too. We're all, like I said, anything I can do to help, I'm here.
No problem.
Anybody wants to get something started, you can message me and I can do what I can to help you out.
Good deal.
And I just have a message to all the police in Ohio. We're here. We're not going anywhere. And every time you pull us over and every time you violate our rights, all you're doing is strengthening our resolve. So look for the cameras because they're going to be there.
We're watching you.
Damn straight.
All right, so we have we're coming up near the end of the show. You guys have anything else you want to add before we let you go?
Go ahead, John.
I'm good. Go ahead, brother.
Like I said, I just want to reiterate saying, that I'm very thankful for Nathan and Jacob and Kurt and Scotty, even everybody out there. Keep it up. We ain't going nowhere.
I think as we get more people involved, the stronger the movement's going to be, man.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, thanks guys for coming on tonight. Dio, you're from the Greater Cleveland Copblock, and you can find them on Facebook. And
Yes,
John,
sir.
you're from Georgia Copblock, correct?
Yes, sir. You can catch me on Facebook at facebook.com/Georgia Copblock and www.gacopblock.org.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for coming on.
Us, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me, Dio.
Absolutely.
All right, so we are closing on the end of the show. We got about 8 minutes left. You guys have anything you want to talk about, or do we manage to get Adam back? I know we lost him for a while.
I don't know. He might be back. It seems like he's going back and forth. So do we want to, we have the dick of the week. We have this week's nominee, who is, obviously the most qualified dick, sort of.
What do you got?
So, this is a police officer, and her name is Nicole Rizzo, and Nicole is a Washington D.C. cop who was an activist. Well, was being paid to be an activist through stolen money to do whatever it was that activists were doing. Basically, they were, an informant. I don't know if they were, controlled opposition or whatever it was they were doing, but it seemed like people were having all these different rallies, and this person just kept showing up, but nobody could identify who they were. And that's one thing that I know that people are getting a lot better about is, okay, who's that person? Somebody needs to vouch for them, asking questions. And this girl kept showing up, and nobody could figure out who it was. And I guess she had a Twitter account or an Instagram account or something like that. And the person who just started to investigate, putting pictures and stuff together was, I guess they were at the bar the one night, and one of their friends was like, hey, you should follow this person on Twitter. And they were like, wait, that is this person that I'm trying to figure out who the heck it is. And they ended up figuring it out. And if you go to Popular Resistance, I'm not sure just go to popularresistance.org and then type in activists in D.C. identify long-term police protest infiltrator. It's pretty long, but they figured out who it is, and they have her pictures here, and She's talking about being a cop, basically. You know, she took down her Twitter account, and I'm sure she had a Tumblr, all that. But how they set her up was kind of cool to figure out who it was, and they must have emailed her somehow and said, hey, we're going to do this rally. And she showed up, and she was handing out flyers, and they were like, bingo, bango, bongo, you are the dick of the week.
Nice. That's awesome. I love, those are some of the best videos from like Occupy is when they ID the undercovers. Adam, is that you? I can kind of hear you. Adam's trying to call in. He's literally trying to phone it in. But yeah, those are some of the best videos from the Occupies when they ID the undercovers and they get all pissed off. It's really funny.
Yeah,
and they're really
has some good
bad
ones.
jobs.
Oh, they're horrible.
Yeah. So,
Adam, are you there or not? Are we good, bro?
Are you there? I'm here. Are you there?
Yep.
All right. I don't know what happened. Frustrated.
He's phoning the last 5 minutes in.
Yep, had to. I tried like 4 different USB cables. Can't get it to work. Don't know if it's computer USB crapped or the NSA's tapped my computer. I'm not really talking anymore.
Well, I hope it's not the microphone because I spent good money to send that to you.
Yeah, no, the microphone seemed to be working fine. It was the USB was cutting out because I plugged in my Turtle Beach headset and it was doing the same exact thing.
Nice.
I'm thinking the computer. Yep.
So there was one last thing I was going to talk about, but now I can't remember what it was. So if anybody has anything, now's the time.
So what topic are we on right now? Because I am so lost.
We're on whatever you have.
One thing that one thing that we really struggle with, and we try to do the Joe Nazari thing, and he's so good at housekeeping. He gets in, he gets the show. So one thing that we need to do, because we have such an awesome network and we have such a great lineup. FPRN Radio Network is so helpful. Anytime we have these stupid, funny little clips and we'll say something, these guys are on it, and they're pulling clips up, or we start talking about different stories, or we get stuff from YouTube while we're live. These guys are on the ball, but we want you to support FPRN. We also want you to support the other shows, TGB Report with Tom Brown, and he has another guy now that we got two guys that I can't remember what they called themselves earlier whenever I was listening. Something to do with, they both have the same initials, but Anthony Antonello, he's on, and it's cool how they have the countdown live too on the webpage here. Tom Brown's on from 4:30 to 6:30. Then you got Anthony Antonello at 7 to 9, and then there's our slot. And looks like there's a new show coming up that we don't have any info on yet. But the other one that I really like listening to is Line of Fire Radio with Joe Nazari and Mark Thompson, and just talk about such a professional, well-organized, well-orchestrated show. I've talked to these guys numerous times about just different questions about guns or whatever it is, but they moved over to the Saturday show or Saturday time slot from 6 to 9. So, please go and support our network, our other shows, support us. Without you guys, we can't do what we do.
And also, if you want your own show, you can head over to FPRN as well.
Yeah, what you said.
Because then you can be awesome like us.
Like that guy Joe said. You can be cool and try to have a radio show like that.
Yeah, I still don't know what the hell I was going to talk about.
So the last thing that I wanted to talk about was there was this police chief up in New York. And I think it's just sweet, sweet irony whenever you have, a cop who is treated the way a normal citizen is. And what happened was this police chief, who's like the highest ranking uniformed black officer, in the NYPD, was sitting in his vehicle, and these two, beat cops or, guys on foot, came up and, you know, won his information, and they basically just treated him like a piece of shit. And he's, you know, pulling rank on them and showing them his stuff, and they just didn't believe it. So it was awesome that he was treated the same way every other citizen in New York gets treated on a daily basis. So
especially if you're an African American.
Yeah. Driving while black.
Yep. Well, that's all we have tonight. Make sure to tune into Line of Fire on Saturday at 6 o'clock, and then we'll see you back here next week. And remember that badges don't grant extra rights.
Thanks for listening to FPRN. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you'd like to start your own show with FPRN, advertise with us, or donate to the network or to your favorite shows, check out our website at www.fprnradio.com.